viewers, and welcome again to another episode of the Teacher's Lounge. Remember, the Teacher's Lounge is your space, our space as teachers, where we just sit, we relax, we have our time, we sip away our coffee, our tea, our juice, our cucumber water, whatever it is, and we just talk about issues that concern us as teachers. Now, I am happy to have you again. And I've just been sitting down and thinking, we all say that teaching is a calling. And that means that teaching is a work of the heart. But what happens when the heart is tired, when the heart is overwhelmed, when the heart is quietly breaking? Today, we are diving into something that every teacher feels almost all the time or most of the times, but very few talk about it, and that is teacher mental wellness. Now, I want you to think about yourself for a moment. Have you ever dragged yourself out of bed wondering how you'll survive another day or another week or another term at school? Now, most of my friends are teachers because I'm a teacher myself. And sometimes I wake up and I see a teacher posting on their WhatsApp status that Mwalimu is tired. And it's on a Monday morning. So you can imagine Mwalimu is tired on a Monday morning and they have the whole day ahead of them. They have a whole week and they still have a term or several other weeks ahead of them. So it becomes so difficult. So have you ever been in that position? Have you ever cried in the staff room and wiped your tears before walking back into class? Have you ever smiled at your learners, but deep down you're silently battling some issues, your own personal issues, professional issues, or you're even battling burnout? Have you, like me, for a while felt like you just want to quit teaching? Or maybe you just need a deep breath, or maybe you just need a deeper conversation? If you answered yes to any of those questions, this episode is for you. And today we are joined by a special guest, a teacher who also doubles up as a counseling psychologist. And what this means is that she understands the silent battles that teachers struggle with on a daily basis. She will help us answer some questions, among which some like, is burnout part of the job? Is there a way out? How can I set boundaries as a teacher? What practical tips can I apply as a teacher to ensure that I'm mentally okay? How do I protect my peace even when the system doesn't seem to care? So I want you to stick around because our guest here will help us to answer some of those questions and even more. We are not just going to talk about stress. We are talking about healing. We'll talk about hope. And we'll talk about even how to reclaim the wholeness behind the title teacher. So let's unpack the pressure and remind ourselves that teachers deserve care too. I am your ever smiling host, Doreen Lusega. And karibu sana our guest. It's time I want us to get to know our guest. So karibu sana on set. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you, Doreen. Hello, viewers. My name is Maureen Savai. I'm a teacher by profession. I teach mathematics and business studies. And currently, I'm doing my master's in counseling psychology at Catholic University. So yes, I've been teaching for the last 15 years, and I've been in counseling for the last 8 years.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't imagine you've been in counseling for 8 years. That's
Yes.
interesting. Really, really interesting. And guys, please, we share a name, but trust me, she's not my sister. We happen to share a name. She's Maureen Savai. I'm Maureen Savai. Yeah, coincidences. And that's good. So thank you so much, Maureen, for coming. I don't know whether I should refer you as Teacher Maureen or Counselor Maureen, but for this episode, I'll not refer you by any title. Allow me to, so that we don't see the role. We want to hear the person also. So please tell us a little bit of what drew you into the field or the world of psychology, because you started off as a teacher, and you say you've been in teaching for the last 15 years. 15 years, and now you are moving into psychology. So tell us what really drew you into the world of psychology, and especially in relation to teachers.
Yes. Now, let me say, when I started teaching in 2010, I was basically a teacher of mathematics. I remember getting to this school the first time, and I was given a Form 4 class, fresh graduate. I remember like the entire class, like 3/4 had an E mean grade. So I sat down and asked myself, how well can I improve the grades of these students from an E to something? So during that era and time, you all know corporal punishment was there. So I really saw lots of beating going on to get results. And I told myself, maybe I might need to use a different approach to get results from the students. And I remember using the talk one-on-one, just call a girl, can you please tell me where it's the problem? So with the time I started recording improvement in my scores, and I realized, so this talking, just talking without beating, actually helped. And I think my principal must have realized that, because after some few years, I was given the head of math department, and then they realized I'm more of a psychologist. So they shifted me now to the head of guiding and counseling. That is where I was for the last 7 years when I was in that school, until when I recently transferred to another school. And I'll shock you that this time I was appointed in the guiding and counseling department. And this week I was given the head of math department. So I think there's something about how I handle students with the talk, not necessarily the teaching. So when I was talking to the students, after now becoming the head of guiding and counseling, I realized there were issues that they were posing to me that I didn't have knowledge about. I needed to have deeper knowledge about counseling issues, traumas, loss and grief, and all that. So that pushed me now to going back to school. And now I'm almost done with my master's in counseling psychology, but I've done so many short courses in counseling in between by the time I was appointed up to now. And actually, it is basically to get to understand the students better on how to handle their issues, which could be spilling over into their academic performance, that pushed me to get into counseling.
You just got into a new school, and or you've already been appointed the head of counseling. That means there's something in you that you need to pour into the students that you're handling. But for today's episode, I want us to move away from the learner a little bit and focus on the teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, because with that knowledge that you have, then it's still helpful to the teacher, I guess, right? Good. So now, let's begin with the very basic things, because when you talk about mental wellness, it's mental wellness is such a huge word, and I think I don't understand it so well, and that's why you're here to help us understand that. Mental wellness, I think it entails a lot, which we may not be able to tackle in this one session, but I just want you to help us understand, what does mental wellness actually mean? And as you're talking about what that actually means, I want you to talk about 3 words that I've been hearing a lot, mentioned a lot when we talk about mental wellness. There is the word fatigue, there is the word exhaustion, and then there's burnout. And then there is stress, a 4th word. So do those words mean the same thing, or are they different in relation to mental wellness? Kindly unpack that for us.
Thank you. Now, what I can say, there's this mental health and mental wellness, they are almost the same, but one is a little bit more broad, that is wellness. So when we talk about mental health, let me start with that. It's all about the mind, what is in the mind. And then when we talk about mental wellness, is now being able to function very well in whatever work environment you are, without getting stressed, without feeling the pressure and all that. That is like you are living a balanced life. Your mind is balanced, your thoughts are balanced. So I like telling people, when you think about mental health or wellness, just think about the word FAT, where FAT stands for F for feelings, and then A is actions and thoughts. So these three things have a way they impact the way we relate with the others around us. You have this thought going on to your mind. You're feeling, let us say, sad, so you have anger. How are you going to react now that you have this feeling of anger and you're like, I'm so sad? How you react and relate to the people around you, we are going to say that this is a well-balanced person, or this is a person who has an issue that needs to be looked into. So when you talk about fatigue is just when you're feeling, I'm so exhausted, but if you go sleep, let's say for 2 hours, you wake up, it's gone. So with fatigue, we normally say it's for a very short period of time, and then you should be okay. But when we talk about burnout now is this fatigue that won't just go away. I have slept, I have tried exercising, but I wake up in the morning, I still feel like I am still exhausted. That's now when you refer to it as you are totally burnout. And then we say burnout will go on for a very long time. If it goes on for more than 2 weeks, then it needs to be checked. That is not okay. It means there's something cooking up that needs to be addressed. But basically, for burnout, it will go on for some time. But fatigue, by the end of a day, when you sleep for a short period of time or you take a walk, you should feel better. Thank you.
Okay. So will I be right if I say fatigue is mainly physical and burnout is mental?
Yes.
Okay.
You are right. Yes.
All right. We'll get into the meat of that. If not today, in another session.
Oh, yes.
Now, Maureen, we say today we want to focus so much on the teacher. And I would like to know from you, because you're also a teacher, are there some challenges or mental health challenges that teachers face that are unique to teachers as you compare to professionals in other fields? Like these ones are just unique to teachers.
Yes, we have some challenges that we identify with as teachers that actually contribute to health issues. That is right.
What are they?
Like I can say the one that I think you've even seen teachers talk about on social media and other platforms is the one that is common. Let me say the inadequate resources we have in schools. You are a teacher, you are told go and teach this class. You get to that class, you find totally packed. Some students even don't have, like I happened, the school I've transferred to recently, there was a time students didn't even have the desks to write on. And you are there, you're supposed to produce results. Actually, with our current nation, we are exam oriented, we need results. So you're teaching a girl how to construct a mathematics class, and the girl doesn't even have where to sit. That is one challenge that is eating into teachers. Overcrowding. A normal classroom should be 40, 45. But where I am, we handle students, our class is about 80 students.
Wow.
Currently, I'm handling 82, 79. Even when they are grouped as blocks, it's over 100. And you're there as a teacher, you need to get results out of them. So the pressure is there from the parents. I want my kid to pass. The administration is also getting pressure from the ministry that why are your students failing? So all this pressure trickles down to the teacher. Like, why are you not giving us results? And yet this is a teacher who's handling overcrowded classroom. And then with the with the withdrawal of corporal punishment, I think teachers, that is the only means they used to know of getting results. So I think they also need to have a talk and be taught now how to handle kids without necessarily the beating. So with the corporal punishment withdrawn, and I'm glad it was withdrawn. Actually, it wasn't something good. I'm one teacher who doesn't use corporal punishment, and I've not used it in years because I believe that talking helps more. So with that withdrawn, the discipline of our learners somehow, I don't know how it has impacted it, but it is way out there. The students nowadays, majority of them, you will not tell them something and they fail to tell you something. It's like, you can't tell me something, you teach and go. In fact, some of them will say it in your face. So you find now you are a teacher, you are dealing with an unruly kid, and you need to get results out of them. Quite tricky. And then in day schools, we have absenteeism. A student comes to school today, you have taught a concept, tomorrow they miss for 2 days, then they come. That one is quite common in day schools. Career progression. I think teachers are one of the people where progressing in career is quite an uphill task. Personally, there was a time I stayed in one job group for 10 years. 10 years. I would go for interviews. No. Go for interviews. No. Until last year, that is after 10 years in one job group, is when I was able to get a promotion to another job group. So you can imagine, as a teacher, in the same job group for over 10 years. That means your salary is not increasing, you have responsibilities, the economy is not doing so well. You know that 1,000 that used to spend 10 years ago will not buy you the same things right now. So the pressure is so much on the teacher when you look at career progression. In fact, most teachers just say, I think I'll not even go for that interview because I know even if I go, I'll still not get it. And then the salary itself, the remuneration, I'll say it's not, our ministry is not one of the best. We are not actually well remunerated, if I can put it like that. If you compare to other sectors, people in the same job group, you look at their salaries, they are doing pretty well, but you put a teacher there, the same job group, their salary is way below there. So you find somebody has been a teacher for, let's say, 15 years, their net salary taking home is 15,000, maybe because of the loans they have taken and all other deductions. So with all that, you find a teacher, their mind is not settled because of those many conditions that are at school. And once a teacher is not settled, they will not be able to deliver. So those are some of the challenges that I just mentioned, a few that the teachers are going through, and I think most of them can identify with them. Thank you.
Wow. You know, listening to you, I'm like, wow, teachers are going through a lot. We might not know it, but hearing it from you as a teacher, you know, speaks a lot, because sometimes we see teachers out there and they're always jovial, always playing with our learners, always, you know, caring for the learners and everyone else in the community. Because, you know, even in the community, we've always thought teachers have answers to everything, you know.
Yes.
we need a Sunday school teacher. The school teachers are the ones who can handle them. There's a problem with discipline in the community. We have Teacher Maureen, she can handle that. We have a certain event in community, Teacher Maureen can handle that. So teachers handle a lot, but there's a lot that they are struggling with mentally, and wow, we need to you know, clap for our teachers because they are carrying a lot. But again, now who will help the teachers? Who will help the teachers? Anyway, help
They need to find a way to help themselves, and maybe God.
Yeah. Okay. Sawa. So, Maureen, kindly tell us, because you've mentioned some of the challenges that teachers go through. But even with all those challenges, like I've said, sometimes you cannot really tell that a teacher's mental health is suffering, because we look at you and you're jovial. We think everything is working fine. We can't even imagine you have, something
Issues.
really pressuring you in
Uh-huh.
your mind. So what are some of the warning signs that a teacher's mental health might be suffering, Maureen?
Okay, thank you. What I can say, the warning signs, and this is something that I'm also posting out there to all the viewers, you can always tell when somebody around you is not well, that they're dealing with some issues by looking at some of the signs that they will be showing. And we normally say these signs should have been there for more than 2 weeks for us to say, now this is an issue that needs to be looked into. And the most common one is the mood swings. Somebody is very jovial one time, the next morning they are crying, the next time they are laughing, the next time they are gloomy. So if you witness a friend or a colleague, now this is now teachers, this was a colleague, she's crying, the next day she doesn't want to talk to somebody, the next day she's so irritable, you're even trying to borrow a pen from them, they tell you, get out my face. If this goes on for some time, then we say that is an issue that needs to be checked in. It is a sign that a mental health issue is about to happen. So I always say, take note of how people behave, their moods, be keen on them. That is a one thing that will tell you, Hapa is a problem. And then, as let us say, this is a teacher who was very active in games, all-round teacher. All of a sudden, they don't even have more, they are no longer interested in games. Or let's say they were very active in clubs. They are no longer interested in clubs. The motivation gone. That is a warning sign, especially if it goes on for 1 term, 2 terms, they're not picking up extra responsibilities. They're like, no, I'm tired. That is a sign to show that they are going through some things that they might not likely express. Then withdrawal. This was an outgoing teacher out there partying. Let's say over the weekend, they're meeting with friends to have a drink, or they are in the staff room beating stories. Then all of a sudden, they just want to be alone without being disturbed. The moment somebody says, I want to be left alone, that is the moment they need to be with somebody, because a lot is going on into their minds. If also their productivity goes down, this is a person who used to produce results. You get to their class, they have A's, A minus, B plus, and then all of a sudden the class is just doing very badly. And they are not even giving you reasons as to why the class is doing badly. There is something wrong. When productivity goes down, this is something that heads of institutions should know. It's not always about this teacher doesn't want to produce result. It is more to some mental health issue is going on in the life of this teacher. And then there are those teachers who, okay, somebody used to drink, yes, but now it's like they're drinking on a daily basis. They're even coming to school drunk. If you notice that this teacher nowadays, he comes to school drunk, personal grooming, zero. Like I've witnessed teachers who come to school, you look at the way they are dressed and you're like, oh my goodness, if the students see this one, you will not even tell them anything about work hard and become a teacher, and they're looking at you very poorly groomed. This is just an indication that this person is going through something. And then one that I always find very funny is overeating. This is a teacher, you if you witness somebody has started overeating or eating less or not eating at all, so it goes both ways, then it means there is something going on with this teacher, like that needs to be looked at. So you find this teacher in the staff room, of course, there are some staff rooms that serve meals. So initially it was just okay with the serving portion. Then all of a sudden they're like, this is not enough. This is not enough. So they're piling weight and piling weight. We call that stress eating. So it is something that once it pops out, it shows that this teacher, there's something going on with them. And then there's this oversleeping or under insomnia where you don't have sleep at all, but that can only be identified by people at home, that this person has not been sleeping for the last few weeks and all that. And then there are those who will experience panic attacks. You have witnessed teachers in the staff room, out of nowhere, you find them wailing. like something has really pressed them and they can't take it anymore. So if those kind of episodes happen, we are saying that is a teacher that needs to be helped. He or she's probably going through something. So those are just a few of the things that somebody can see, the signs, and know that whoever they are with, they are not okay. Something is amiss and they need help. Yes.
You know, you've mentioned changing eating patterns and wait. No, I didn't think that would be a red flag. Because I thought people's appetites can just change. Like today I feel like I just want to eat, and there are times you just don't feel like eating. Or maybe it's hormonal changes. I didn't
Yes.
think that would be a red flag. Anyway, now
Yeah,
I
it is a
understand.
sign. Overeating is a sign that you are stressed or something.
Oh, okay. Even changing sleeping patterns.
Yes. But like I said, this thing should have gone on for a period of more than 2 weeks for us to
Oh,
say
okay.
now there's an issue. Yes.
More than 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right. So, dear teachers, do you have a colleague with some of these signs? Please look out. Check out for your colleagues. Waangalieni sana, make sure nobody is going through mental issues. If you see someone, your colleague with some of these signs, you know, someone suddenly starts not taking care of how they look. They are coming to school with unkempt hair and dirty clothes. Please, waangalieni sana. Wow, thank you so much for highlighting those, because I know most of us didn't even think about some of these things as red flags, but at least now we know. Now we know. Even where I work, I think I should be on the lookout so that if I see any of this in my colleagues, I should be able to direct them to
Please
some
do.
help.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, one thing I was just thinking about, just to take you back a little bit, one thing I was thinking about when you're talking of the challenges that teachers go through that could really impact on their mental wellness. And I was thinking, could personal expectations also impact a teacher's mental wellness? Because yes, there's the expectation of the parents, there's the expectation of the school admin, but the teacher's personal expectations, could they also impact their mental wellness?
Oh, yes, it does. Because now, let us see, this is a teacher. You know, when we get into the profession, number one, we expect to have career progression. And then, so you're there, you've started the first year, second year, 5 years, you're still in the same job group. And you are expecting by this time, I would have moved to this job group. Maybe I would have married, I would have kids. So you'll find that the challenges that you experience at the workplace and the expectations you had in hand, that I wanted to accomplish this, I wanted to accomplish this. So somehow, because they are conflicting, it actually brings about mental issues, health issues. Because let's say you moved into this school as a teacher, you're saying, I'm going to produce results. I want to be teacher of the year. You know, we get awards for that. But it's quite unfortunate that this school, especially the resources, are not well balanced. So you get there, the psych is up there. You want to produce result to win the teacher of the year award. Then you get to a school, you're a science teacher, and the school doesn't even have a laboratory. So your expectations, you have to lower down your expectations. Like, this is what I wanted to do ABCD, but because of the challenges at school now, you cannot produce. And then the one that I said, there's no teacher who doesn't want to live in a good house, drive a good car, and have good life generally. But you find now the remuneration that we receive doesn't support that at all. So what happens is that you are now forced to take loans, and once you take loans, you'll service that loan for over 10 years before you can get a breather. So during that 10 years, you're waking up, going to school. That's now where you say somebody's in school on Monday and they're already tired. They don't even want to go. But you're feeling like, you can imagine I am stressed and I have that 15,000 salary waiting at the end of the month? What if I become stressed and I don't even have a shilling at the end of the month? So I think that is what keeps them waking up and going to that job every day. So yes, personal expectations, they will be affected in one way or another because of the challenges that we get to experience at the workplace.
Okay. I wanted to be driving a Harrier within the first 3 years, but I can't afford even a motorbike. It becomes a mental health issue. My God. Anyway, yeah. So how now can we help teachers to manage their personal expectations so that it's not posing an issue to their mental wellness? So talk about what are some practical tips, whether small things that realistic things that teachers can do either on a daily basis and continuously in their lives, so that they are managing the expectations and the expectations of many other people and all the challenges that they are facing as teachers, so that they stay back. Because I remember when you were talking about wellness, you spoke about balance. We want a balanced teacher. How can we help them be a balanced teacher?
Yeah, okay. Now, a balanced teacher, I'll say some of the tips that have personally worked for me as a teacher. One of them is workload. When you get, especially when you get to a place and you're a new teacher, if you're not careful, you will be given all the lessons by the seasoned teachers. So I always say, find a way to respectively tell them that let us balance our lessons. Of course, we have a shortage of teachers, but workload is something that can be worked out if you speak to your HOD and the administration so that they get the teachers on BOM to come in and help. So personally, I will say speaking out, especially when I feel like I have been overworked, and yet we have some staff members who are in the same department, but they have less workload, has worked. But if you are in a school where, let's say, the extra manpower is not there, that's now when you can use diplomacy, talk to your principal. If the finances allow, you get an extra manpower, or possibly combine classes so that you don't have extra workload, especially in schools that have less population. We have, like my former school, a class had, let's say, 30 students per class.
That's manageable.
That's manageable. So even if you were to bring two classes at the same time so that the workload doesn't look so bad, a class of 60 is something you can manage. If I'm managing right now to teach a class of 80, 90 at the same time, so 60 sounds quite fair if you ask me. So find a way to talk through your administration and the heads of departments on the workloads. And then if let's say the workload thing is not going to be sorted, find a way to create time for breaks in between the days. And I like it that our school timetables have breaks. They have 4 break times, but it's quite unfortunate. Like you find the one for lunch where I'm supposed to have my lunch break from 1 to 2. Like as a math teacher, you're normally forced to have programs for math hour. So what we have done in our school, we have divided that time amongst ourselves so that we all don't have to attend to the students at that time. So we say today you'll be 3 teachers, tomorrow we'll have you taking care, so that we have each of us have some time during that break time. So take those breaks. And then when schools close, we say teachers kindly. Nowadays we are not even supposed to have, is it the holiday coaching? Use that time to spend time with your family, go and take a break. Those people who know me at personal level will agree with me that when school close, I pack my bags, go out there, have fun with my kids and family, so that when I come back, I am energized, I'm fresh. And then something else that I also learned with the time is don't carry work home.
Very important.
Yes, I remember when I was new in profession.
I think that one you need to shout it louder.
When I was new in profession, I remember I used to carry piles of books and papers to go and work at home. So you can imagine, you're not resting at night. You're busy marking papers, you're busy marking books. And then tomorrow morning, you need to wake up and deliver. It will not happen. So just do what you can within the time allocated for you at school. Use that time very well. And nowadays it's quite easy. Like these rats, the extra papers that we give to students, you can use the bright students to mark that work. You just create a marking scheme, sit them down. By making them maybe help in marking those scripts, you are also helping them revise and perfect themselves. So that has also worked for me. The rats and all that, I just assign the bright students.
What are rats, Maureen, for someone who might not, who might be watching and they're not a teacher? Okay.
They are random assessment tests that we normally give mostly at the end of every topic. But if the topic is so wide, you can give it after a certain number of subtopics. You give a random assessment test. So what I do when I give those rats, I pick my top students. We sit down with them, create a marking scheme, then let them mark, because those are just for assessment. They are not the final evaluation. So that one has really worked for me. And then we say, as a teacher, find some way of doing exercise. Like personally, I've enrolled, I go to the gym every evening. And I'll say it keeps me up on my toes. But if you find going to the gym will not work, 2 or 3 times in a week, leave that car at home, take a walk. Walking is healthy. And then we even say eating balanced diet. Somehow it has a way of having a positive impact on us. And then we say meditate, pray, listen to some calming music. Personally, I like listening to gospel worship songs. When I feel I'm so low, I'm so down there, what happens is that I sit down, turn on my music, and it helps. Go out there, have some social groups. Like us, I have a team of colleagues, they're all teachers. We have a group, we call ourselves Watu Gang. You can be sure.
What do you call yourselves?
Watu Gang.
All right. So what does that mean?
It is a group of teachers that we met when I was working in my first station. So with the time we have transferred to different institutions, but we still get together, not just for fun, but we check up on each other. If somebody has an issue, we get there, we help each other, whether it is ceremonies or sad events, we are there for each other. And then we organize every time, like after every 2 or 3 months, we meet to just have fun and talk and empty our minds. So it has worked for us so well. We address the challenges we are facing and how we have managed to maneuver through them. So it has worked for us. Have that clique of friends, fellow teachers who can identify with your problems, so that you just go out there, say, I'm meeting this challenge. How have you ever encountered it? How did you cope with it? So personally, it has helped me. And then something I've noticed is, I don't know if it is right to say, when you're this teacher that is, let me use the term, so good, you tend to be given extra responsibility, leave alone the classwork. So you'll be saying, you are in charge of this, you are in charge of this, you are in charge of this, because you are the teacher who says yes. So personally, I learned to say no to extras, especially the ones that I feel like this one would drain me so much. So I like picking up the duties that I love. Like when I was given the assistance in guiding and counseling, I told my principal, thank you very much for this opportunity. That is my area of specialization. But you push me somewhere where, let's say I have no interest, I'm likely to struggle there. Once I'm struggling, it will bring issues with the administration because I might not deliver. So it's just good that we say the heads of schools, they can find a way to actually align teachers in departments where they are best in, so that we don't have those conflicts. And then maybe this is something to our heads of institutions to help teachers, let them have open door policies, suggestion box, because personally I've not seen suggestion box for teachers. I only see suggestion box for students in these schools. They can have for teachers where teachers can post their issues. In our school, every Tuesday we have a brief where teachers are allowed to air out anything they might have gone through throughout the week and they are not happy about, or anything they feel it should be put in place. So every Tuesday we have that. And I think it has really helped my school. the current school that I'm teaching, I'll say personally, I am at peace. The administration does a very good job to ensure that we are comfortable, we are allowed to air out our issues. And I'll say, so far, those are the things that have worked for me. And then we say, create time for your family. So that's just not carrying work home. It means now you have a family that needs you at home, because once things are not okay at home, they will spill over to your workplace. So those are the things that have actually worked for me so far. Thank you.
I have taken a lot of notes, lots of notes, and I want to just state those things again for the teachers to hear. Number one, watch out your workload. Don't just say yes to everything you're given as a teacher, to every responsibility and extra lessons. Maureen also said, take a break between your work days. During holidays, you can get somewhere. And by the way, Maureen, you needed to say that holidays don't have to be expensive, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. If you can't afford a holiday to Mombasa or the Maldives, I mean, just
Even
creative
going
ways.
to a national park is quite affordable.
Or a resort in your neighborhood. Just go and have a day, away there, away from the children, where you can just refresh yourself. So please, teachers, value your own time. Find time to refresh. One important thing Maureen said, don't carry work at home. Talking of which, my own parents were teachers. My mother was a primary school teacher, and we would mark books at home. We would help her rewrite her schemes of work. My God, teachers have a lot of work. I'm imagining, like Maureen said, she has a class of about 82. So you can imagine, and mathematics is taught daily.
Yes.
So you can imagine having to mark 82 books on a daily basis. That's quite some work.
And that's just one class. You could be teaching.
Oh, yeah, by the way, that's just one class. So it's a lot of work, but how you manage that, I don't know. You people, you are miracle workers. You work miracles. Maureen also said exercise, eat a balanced diet. And again, I just want to emphasize what she said about balanced diet. It doesn't have to be expensive again. If you can't afford fish, eat beans. If you can't afford chicken, eat ndengu, for protein. There's vegetables, there's fruits, there's mapera on your way from school. You can get some guavas and eat. That's a fruit. Get a balanced diet. She said meditate, pray, listen to music. I mean, do those activities that you really enjoy, right, Maureen?
Yes.
Activities that you really enjoy will help you to relax and re-energize. And then she also mentioned socialize, find that clique of teachers or other people that you share the same energy, and you're open with each other, and you can share your issues and get helped. And I was about to ask about the role of school administration in ensuring teachers' mental wellness, but you already mentioned that. And glad that you did that, making my work easier. So heads of institutions, please ensure that you align teachers with the departments where they have, the interest and the passion, so that your teachers are not struggling. Wow, that is very good, very practical tips. I find that most of those are things that teachers can easily do at a very low or even no cost. So teachers, please try those out whenever you feel like you've come to the breaking point. Please just take a step back and refresh yourself. Thank you so much, Maureen, for sharing those practical tips. We're almost coming to an end. But before we close, I just want to ask you, Maureen, to speak to that teacher who feels like they're drowning, but they're scared of seeking help. What would you say to them?
Okay, to any teacher who is watching this, I'll say this, that taking care of yourself is not selfish. And then we say there's no shame in speaking out. If you feel like this one, you can't take it anymore, we say speak up. In the society that we are living in today, we say we listen, but we don't judge. Yes, there are counselors out here who are offering free mental health talks, free counseling services. You only need to make Google your friend. I'll say there are even organizations like the Ministry of Health. They have a free toll number. If you Google, you'll find it. Organizations like Red Cross, AMREF, those ones they offer free counseling services, something that the teachers don't know. And then our employer, we are allowed to seek counseling services, but in public institutions. Like you can go in Kakamega here, if you visit the CGH, they offer mental health services, and they can get to use your in NHIF, but nowadays it's called SHA, so they use that. And I'll say at schools, we have mentors and mentees that our employer ensured we have in school. So if you are in that school, make use of that mentor and mentee. These are teachers who are selected. They went for a training so that they can be in school to help teachers who are struggling with mental issues. But then just a plea maybe to our government, this is outside of what you've said. It is high time we have professional counselors placed in institutions. Because currently the ones who are doing counseling for both teachers and students, they're not professionals. I've done it for 7 years before I actually became a professional. So I can say that is something that can be looked into. But if you're that teacher that you're almost drowning in sadness, sorrow, anger, all those things are eating you up, please speak up. We normally say that prevention is better than cure. Don't wait until you are so deep into depression before you can seek help, because you might never go back to being yourself. Speaking from a personal experience, I have had relatives who went into depression and they have never gone back to being themselves. So speak out, don't keep quiet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do not want to have headlines of teachers who've committed suicide because they had issues that they didn't speak out, so they were holding on to those issues and they went on for a long time without being resolved, and then they resort to committing suicide and even killing, dying with their own families. We do not want such headlines. Please, teachers, speak out. Like Maureen has said, there are free services, free counseling services. And maybe in the comment section, we will pin some of those where you can find some of those, support services so that you access them and get help. Get help. That is what I would say, because
And
again,
that reminds me, there are organizations like CITAM. They also offer free counseling services.
Yes.
Even in our church, like Anglican Church of Kenya, they offer free counseling services, so they can identify with some of them nearby and get help for free.
Yeah. We need a healthy teacher. We need a balanced teacher. We need a mentally well teacher, so that you are able to handle your learners well and handle your families well and handle everything else well. Thank you so much. And Maureen, are you also available to offer help to teachers who might need someone to talk to?
Oh yes, in fact, I do a lot of pro bono services because I realize out here people are going through a lot and they might not be able to afford the fee that they pay in mental for counseling. So I do it pro bono most of the time.
All right. So we will also provide Maureen's contact details so that you can reach out to her in case you need someone to talk to. All right. Thank you so much, Maureen. So I want us to switch gears for a little bit and do a rapid fire wellness check-in. Maureen, I will ask you some questions, quick answers only. Quick answers. Don't overthink it. Don't give long answers. Just quick, short answers. Just vibes and honesty. Are you ready? Okay.
Oh, yes.
So Maureen, in one word, Could you describe your mental state now?
Peaceful.
Peaceful? Why? Why did you describe it that way?
Currently, I don't have anything that is eating me up, that is stressing me out, that wants me to speak out. I'll say over time, I've learned to balance my thoughts and emotions. So for quite a long time, I've been peaceful.
Ah, that's good. I want to be you when I grow up. Okay, Maureen, next question. What's your emergency go-to fix when you feel you're exhausted?
My quick fix is I take a nap.
Just like me.
Yes.
Just like me, I quickly take a nap. All right. There are some who do
even when I'm at
journaling.
school, sometimes I just lie on the desk for some few minutes, and by the time I wake up, I'm good.
Okay. There are some who do coffee. There are those who will take a walk. There are those who will prefer to do deep breathing. There are those who will journal. But sisi hapa ni wale watulale kidogo. All right. Complete the following sentence for me. Dear teacher me. Now me is you. Today you deserve ...
Dear teacher me, today you deserve a chocolate.
Oh. Wow, you deserve a chocolate. Okay, we will find someone to give you chocolate today. All right, what's that self-care practice that costs nothing and it takes less than 60 seconds and it works for you every single time?
Self-care tip. Let me just say, I said nap, but nap will take more than 30 seconds. Okay, which one? I listen to music. Personally, I just turn on the music and that's it.
Okay.
So
music.
You can have a 1 minute music running and you'll feel good about it.
The music that you love, not just any music.
Yes. Not just any music.
All right. Next question. What's one boundary you've learned to set that has changed your mental health game?
Okay. One boundary that has worked for me even at my workplace is the one that I told you about. The extra responsibilities, especially the ones that are not, let me say, in my line of duty. I have learned to say no. And then when it is time for my family, like when I'm at home, I will not allow you to take me out of that space. Even my friends know that. When I say today I'm going out with my kids, it's out with my kids. I'll tell you, no, you wait, I'll schedule you some other time. So it has really worked for me. And those people who surround me nowadays, they know. Maureen, don't look for her over the weekend. She will be taking care of herself.
Wow.
I'll say that one has worked for me.
Please adopt me. And many other teachers. So that we are well taken care of.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good boundary, which many of us, I think, need to learn to, set it. Final question I want to ask you. Now, Maureen, there are some days that are just rough and you feel like, me, I just want to quit. And I want to find out from you, have you ever been there, by the way?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So on those rough days, what's that one line that I would call your pep talk line? The one that you give to yourself now, the pep talk in the mirror. Just one line that you would give yourself on those rough days.
I normally tell myself, today it has been a bad day, but we have better days ahead. And then I pick myself up. If I was crying, I wipe my tears, put on a smile, command my day, and then I move on. Personally, by the way, people will tell you I'm one person who doesn't even stress when I don't have money. Because I always tell myself, if I get stressed because I don't have money, I'm inviting depression into my life. And then I'll need money to treat that depression. So I will not let it put me down. So I just tell myself there are better days ahead, put on a smile, command my day, and move on. That one works for me so well.
Wow, that's a good pep talk. There are better days ahead. So don't stay down because of this one rough time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I loved those answers. You're really good at it, and I can tell you're a mentally balanced teacher. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, I've listening to your answers, I can tell that honestly, mental wellness doesn't have to be complicated. It can be so simple, just like, the way we breathe so easily, mental health can be that simple. Thank you so much, Maureen, for sharing your wisdom with us, and especially the segment I've loved most is the practical tips that we can apply as teachers. And even I know these will help not only teachers but even other professionals who are not teachers. This can really be helpful to them, because mental wellness is not just for teachers, but it's for everyone, even younger people. So I know this will really be helpful to them, and thank you so much for coming on board to share. I know we will have many more sessions with you to talk about many other mental issues, and not only even mental issues, even professional issues. We'll have more sessions with you later on, so that we can just pour more wisdom into the teachers. Parting shot.
Thank you for having me here on your platform. And I'll say, as we embrace the mental health month, let us strive to change the life of one teacher at a time. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. And to our viewers and the amazing teachers out there, I just want to tell you this, that if no one ever told you that you matter this week and today, I want to tell you that you really matter. It's not just about your lesson plans, not just about your mean scores. It's not just about delivering in those departments where you've been given responsibilities. It's not just your ability to keep a well-managed and disciplined classroom, but it's about you, the person behind the title. You really matter. Your peace matters, and your mental wellness is not just a luxury, it's your power source. So please make sure that you allow yourself to be mentally sane, to be okay. Whenever you need to take a break, please take a break, set that boundary, ask for that help, rest without feeling guilty, and please normalize choosing yourself. Normalize choosing yourself, teachers. We're so grateful to our guest today for helping us understand what mental wellness means, and she's also helped us, look out for the red flags, things that we need to look out for in our colleagues and even in ourselves. And she's given us practical tips on how we can ensure that, we are taking care of our mental wellness day in, day out. We are really appreciative of you, Maureen. We want to ask our viewers and all the teachers to share this conversation beyond the podcast, so that many other teachers will benefit from this conversation. Thank you so much, and let's keep breathing, let's keep walking, let's keep being kind to our minds. Thank you so much, Maureen, and bye.
Bye-bye.